Assalamu alaikum and shalom aleichem, everyone here again back. One Love Caravan, Daniel, with the continuation of the history of the technology we use. We talk about today about the industrial revolution, and the technology coming out of it, and how the whole society now it's based on a digital technology, right? Everything based here on the microchip and an alternate current, and how it came so, and how quick this evolved and why, and everything. We go more into depth because it's very important to understand. Look at this. This is this whole electricity and electronics, yeah. And and again, if you start to read these things about electricity, electronics, then mostly it doesn't make any sense because the words are already wrong, right? Because we start now with the word again, electronic. Electricity, it's coming from the electron, and the electron has the negative charge, and this is already everything based on the negative. It doesn't make any sense because we take the energy from the positive, and the positive gives and the negative takes, and that's how the circuit goes, from the North Pole to the South Pole, and then it goes, it's the torus thing, anyhow, it's just how, let's say, how the reality works, like the atom and the solar system. Again, the sun gives, and also the planet they take, right? So, and they go around so anyhow, when you consider this, okay, that, let's say, when you talk about electricity, or Strom, in German Strom, it's come from stream, a stream coming from Strom, Strom is also, stream is also Strom in German, sorry. So a stream is Strom, and a current, it's also Strom, right? And electricity is also Strom, all this is Strom. Anyhow, the Strom now, what is it? It is energy, right? So, but everything is energy, right? So what kind of energy is it? It is magnetism in the end, right? Because we're talking about, again, electromagnetic fields, but if this word electricity, it's already wrong, it's wrongly said. It's I think we should the whole thing call magnetism, right? But anyhow, so just to have a better understanding, right? We're talking about electromagnetic fields, magnetism, anyhow, energy, which has to do with the poles, with the north and the south, with the positive and the negative, and the tension between, right? So, if we study the history of this technology again, then we will see there was the industrial revolution, and again, this technology originally, it must come from the first civilization, right? Because the first civilization in humanity, they did the most advanced buildings, and they had the most advanced technology, right? So when we see, for example, in the Bible, for example, there's many. I think if you look in the internet, they talk about 55 verses where it's talking about the computer, right? So again, the Bible got translated, then we should go in the original language, which is the Hebrew, or then again in the Ge'ez and all these languages. Then we should listen to the linguists. I'm not really a linguist, but I'm studying languages. But there is very good linguists like Ras I Adonis, for example, from Rastafari Jews. I can encourage everyone to watch his channel also at the YouTube. Yaden, you know, Ras I Adonis from that channel is Rastafari Jews, right? Because he's speaking English for sure, but he's speaking Hebrew, Arabic, and Amharic, and knows the alphabets, yeah. And then if you see what the original word, right, written in the scripture, right, the etymology, then it's very interesting because yeah, if we see here, for example, yeah, the word computer, right, it's coming from Latin computo, you know, and it means to count, right? It means to count. You see, it's a calculate, yeah, calculate, compute, calculate, okay, it means to count, yeah. So that's why it's called a computer. It's a counter, yeah, a counter. It's a calculator, yeah, to count, to calculate, or to order, to make an order, because all these things it's the same thing, right? To count, yeah, zählen, yeah, in German, zählen, then you have Zahl is the number, right? So you count numbers, you kannst Zahlen zählen, right? And then you have you can, for example, in Spanish or Portuguese, ordenar, order, right? So that's why in Latin languages sometimes it's called ordenador, right? In Spanish it's called ordenador, yeah. And in German again, rechnen, it's calculate, yeah. Ein Rechner, so it's a yeah, it's a count, yeah, calculate and put things in order, right? That's what it means. So then you can see the original words. Again, I'm not the expert of that. There is the experts for that, and we should learn more languages. This is very important. And the alphabet, again, there's big problems with the alphabet, because listen now, if we have, for example, again, the Hebrew made for a connection with God, with the divine, and then the Latin, it's made to make war. So the Latin language already has these limitations, yeah. Again, they had no zero, that's why they made, they also had no numbers. The numbers were the letters, and this gives, on there, look, there is just in this book, for example, there's the numbers, and then you see that the Roman ones have no, it's saying here the Arabic, the Babylonian, the Greek, the Roman, yeah, the Chinese, the Maya, the Indian, they all had their numbering system, yeah. But the Romans, they only have this the letters of the alphabet and no zero, right? So you cannot do mathematics at all. So how come the Romans now, how come that we speak Latin? How come? Wait a second. If this science is based on mathematics in the first place, how come if we need now, everyone needs a computer, and again the whole technology of the digital, right? We go into the history now, right? Because again we have here CERN in Switzerland, right? We have CERN and linked with Shiva from India, yeah, Shiva and CERN and all these things, yeah, linked to, for example, the Gotthard Tunnel also. What has this to do? Yeah, I will explain, right? Lalibela, what it has to do with Kawasaki, you know, what it has to do with, you know, what is the history? I will explain you. It's actually very easy to understand. It's not a big deal. actually. Because, for example, I have this book now, and it's an ancient book. It's from 1989. So it's not so ancient, but it's like when I was born. This is from, this got printed like when I was born, right? And you have here, look, it says the longest tunnels, okay, the longest tunnels in the world. So it's saying here the longest tunnel is the Seikan in Japan, and Japan, and then you have the Eurotunnel, England, France. You have the Oshimitsu, Japan. You have the Simplon, Switzerland, Italy, and then you have also, these were the railways, the longest railways, right? And then you have the longest tunnels, like with roads, right? San Gottardo in Switzerland, Arlberg in Austria, the Mont Blanc, France, Italy, right? And then you have the Subaquaticus, this is under the sea. You have the Seikan in Japan, right? And you have Shinkanmon in Japan. So in 1989, exclude the longest tunnels in the world. Exclusively, you know, they were from Europe and Japan. You know, Europe. So it was the Alps, around the Alps, and also to go to England, yeah, and in Japan. You know, and then you have the it's saying here the bridges. You know, with you know, the highest bridges, the longest bridges. Here we go. Akashi Kaiko, Japan. Hamburg, you know, England. You know, New York, California, Canada, Scotland. You know, United States of America, Bayonne. You know, United States of America, Puerto de Sydney, Australia. You know, Saint-Nazaire, France, you know, Sunshine Valley, Florida. Look, here is the countries, if you don't believe me. Anyhow, Oregon, Australia, Louisiana. So wait a second. Now, United States of America coming in. But before, you know, and still you have only this. You have United States of America, you have Australia, you have, you know, Canada. This is all the Western countries, right? So wait, you have the biggest towers in the world. The biggest towers in the world. The biggest antennas in the world. Antenna of radio in Warsaw, in Polonia. Yeah, and the antenna in Fargo, United States of America. And then you have the biggest buildings, in the highest buildings in the world. So you have the CN Tower, Canada, Toronto. You have, you know, Sears Tower in Chicago. You have the New York World Trade Center, not anymore. Empire State, you know, Chrysler, United States, all in New York, right? Nowadays it's different because they're already the biggest in China, or you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's Babel, you know, it's Babylon. It's they want to be the build. You know, they're making a race. Who is the first on moon? Who is has the biggest tower? Who has? It's their competition, first of all. But what they are competing for? Yeah, world domination. So how are you gonna dominate the world if you have the biggest tower? Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, it's like this. The people want to join the biggest, the strongest, the supposedly, right? So that's why they make the illusion, and that's also a big energy manipulation. We will go into this just in a few moments, because then it continues. Then you have, you know, we have all this. Now it's not even the atomic power plants, but all these things. You know, again, this the biggest bridges, the longest tunnels, and the highest buildings, and the strongest currencies. And where is the energy coming from? All from splitting the atom and then you get radioactive waste. This is the Western world, my friends, the Western world. At this time when I was born, China was not really the Western world and was not really doing damage in the world. It was like more, it was Japan, you know. And people must understand that. Why is nowadays everything made in China? Because everything nowadays is made by robots, right? And this was the dream of my grandfather. So my grandfather nowadays, yes, he should be the most happy person, but it doesn't seem like that he is the most happy. you know you know what I mean? But this was his dream, everything made by robots, so people don't have to do nothing. Right, here we go. This was 89, you know, and this was still futuristic. But now what we have nowadays, yeah, it's the reality of it, you know, that's what they would show at the time logo. Wow, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, yes. It once gets so small it disappears, you know. So what is the whole point of it, of getting smaller and smaller and smaller? What is that? You know, once they want to get bigger, 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 and then they got smaller, 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 and all these things. They're never satisfied, you know. And yeah, anyhow. So the whole thing of destroying nature, bringing the biggest amount of unbalance, yeah, to dominate the world. Yes, and with these passports from Japan, from Australia, again, from Europe, so-called, and from Canada and the United States, you can travel everywhere, and you have a lot of money to spend also to buy the plane ticket and all this stuff. And yes, this is actually the bloodsuckers, the vampires in the world. This civilization, the Western civilization, which does not give nothing back. Again, they only take, because they build on the negative, and they build on the yeah, the taking, yeah, they just take, yeah, right. So yeah, it's saying here in this book, yeah, the Industrial Revolution, yeah, it started in England, right? In England. What is England all about? England is just, you know, there were the Celtics there. They were like that. There were high conscious people, right? And they come some real evil, let's say, Satanists, Anglo-Saxon, German, some real, like some wicked families of German, right, descent, right? Wanna be royal, nothing to do with royal, right? It's from the devil, right? They just wanna be royal, right? So like the Romans, they wanna be Christ or Christians, whatever. So they, this evil, let's say, families, yeah, Anglo-Saxon, they take over the islands there, yeah. So Great Britain, England, all these things. So, and their dialect, yeah, it's German. So they make up a whole new grammatic, let's say. They make a whole new language. They make up this. Yes, it's only witchcraft they make. Yeah, that's why you write everything completely different in English than you say it. It doesn't make any sense. Only if you know about why it's created, right? Because they make it all a backward spell. Yeah, that's why the most of the words they have a backward signification. But anyhow, it's a big witchcraft, yeah, they made with the language. Again, Babel, it's mean Babel, it's mean confusion with language. So this, they make there, from there, they make another headquarters, yeah. It's like, yeah, they have the Vatican, and England, they lose themselves from the Vatican, but they don't really fight each other in this way, no, but they work together, yeah, they work together. So this Protestant, yeah, Anglo-Saxon, but they're together with the Vatican. That's why the whole birth certificate, right? It's there, registered in the Vatican, and the debt it's on from the Bank of England. Now, if you consider that these people, again, which is actually it's coming from, again, is Rome, yeah, Rome coming out of, yeah, Romania, yeah, and before there was Persia, and before Greece, sorry, and before there was Persia, right, and before it was Babylon. So we were where where the tradition is coming from. So now, where is the technology coming from? I told you this, the digital technology. It's coming from, like, let's say, like now we know it, like the microchip and these things. It's coming from Japan, right? So, let's get into depths, right? The Romans were not really intelligent people. They could only steal with war, right? So here we have, this is Bruno Gröning. He'll come in later, but we start with this thing here. Look again, CERN. So CERN now, European Organization for Nuclear Research, right? So this supposedly should be the biggest machine on the world, on the planet, should be there, and they say it's called Large Hadron Collider, and they collide protons, but this is not really what's going on there, because again, with colliding protons you get nowhere. What's really happened there, they do witchcraft, they do energy manipulation. That's why this ancient place, which is next to the biggest mountain in the Alps, which is the Mont Blanc with 5,000 meters, you see this machine and all these things, yeah, which is designed in the same design, in the same manner like the so-called Maya calendar, you know. So it is a thing very, very, very important to understand why, for example, Shiva, this is CERN, right? This is from CERN, this is in Switzerland. And Shiva is the god, so-called god from destruction and rebirth, right? And this what's going on there in CERN. They do like, with natural energies are there, right? Because the Romans conquered, again, these were actually all the Ethiopian civilization there around the Alps and everywhere here, so-called Europe. And Babylon they come with Rome and conquer this place, and they conquer these Alps, and they conquer the high places, the holy places, the high places, you know, where the computer come from, where the cyber, because all these things now, really, if you study where the technology coming from, again, from the first civilization, that's why you have, for example, you have you have the Ark of the Covenant. What's about that? You know what I mean? You have the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant. Let me just see, you know, if I have here a picture, what they put, if you put Ark of the Covenant, what they're gonna show you. Ark of the Covenant. Alright, we know, because we deal with also with esoterics, but yeah, we know that the Ark of the Covenant, you know, there is also devices, yeah, but it's also it's symbolizing, yeah, the presence of God, right? So, but the Ark of the Covenant now, it is, when you just write it like that and how it's depicted in, you know, it's like this, it's made out of gold and with the cherubims and all these things, but you see it's a machine, right? Like again, like the pyramids and all these are devices. And in the Bible it's also described like they had machines with copper and with iron and with, you know, like, if you really understand where the technology coming from, yeah, then you can understand that the Romans, yeah, they did not had the understanding of it, yeah. The Romans had not the understanding of it. That's why they could not really use this technology proper, right? So they had to continue to steal information. Again, then it comes this whole thing with Ignacio de Loyola and the Jesuit order. So the Jesuit order, they traveled all over the world, because the Vatican colonized England, and the Vatican, colonized the whole world. Was not what was not from a Catholic, what was not from the Catholic Church, was from England, the whole world, less only Ethiopia not, right? So maybe some other special places, like Bhutan, and like maybe some very special places, so high places, where high consciousness is there, and they could never be conquered. But the rest got conquered by England, by the Vatican, and later on again the Jesuits, they learned from the same as the Knights Templars, go to the Temple of Solomon and they learn some information, they have some special information about the atom, how it works, how technology works, right? In the Kabbalah, whatever. And so the Jesuits did the same everywhere in the world, everywhere, from any tribe, from every high conscious people, they would learn, and then they would kill them, And there you can also see the involvement of technology, because check it, the microchip, the first computer here, it's coming from, I saying, 1945. What happened then? Like 1945, and it was a giant, the first computer, right? And it's saying here, again, the first computer, it's saying electronic, like ENIAC, it was called, and it was in 1945, and it was 30 tons weight, and 18,000 valves and these things, So nowadays we have a smartphone like this, and it can do everything. How come? Where is this coming from? So wait, it has a history. So industrial revolution, also because some Kabbalistic knowledge, again, out of the Knights Templars, they come the whole science then of, what is then about the, let's say, the atom, because the Romans, they did not really know, they do not really know. Then later on, they steal more and more information, right? And suddenly they're able, like the Nazis, again, the Nazis, they went everywhere and looked for the Ark of the Covenant, and everywhere they looked for, so the Nazi scientists, they were together for sure with the Japanese scientists, right? Isn't it? Because in the Second World War, for example, Japan, and the Nazis, they fought together. They were together, right? So we have one very important thing to understand. This is Kawasaki, for example. Kawasaki, So this is Kawasaki. This is Kawasaki, and this is saying Kawasaki, saying was a Japanese industrialist and shipbuilder. He was the founder of Kawasaki Heavy Industries, right? So Mr. Kawasaki, right? He born, it's saying there, in 1837 and died in 1912, right? But the Japanese the Kawasaki Heavy Industries now, the Kawasaki Heavy Industries Limited, right? It's said to be here, like history, right? Again, they built and built and built. Look at this: airspace programs, military transport, aircraft. Kawasaki is active in a diverse range of the airspace industry. The company is a contractor of Japanese Ministry of Defense, etc., etc., etc. So Kawasaki, it's a warfare, right? Warfare, shipbuilding, and etc. You just can, industrial equipment, you just look it up for yourself. Kawasaki. Then for sure we need we know the motorcycles and all what the Kawasaki, So big time. Yeah, warfare again. Warfare and yeah, industrialize everything. And at the time, everything again Kawasaki. Then if you check out the war, yeah, the First World War, the Second World War, the war, now the Third World War we are in. Yeah, who's building the arms? Who's producing the armor? Yeah, and there is also again there is this kind of engines. Yeah, very. It came with the, again. It's all based on the explosions and on the petrol, right? And it's actually not sustainable. Yeah, we know that, and it's also because yeah, you take something which is needed, maybe there, petrol and all these things. But anyhow, the other thing is that you lose so much energy with the heat. Yeah, it's also very actually stupid. Yeah, because you the most goes into the heat. Yeah, that's why they need a cooling system after in the car and all these things. It's not really intelligent, right? But they invested in this to destroy the whole world. Yeah, okay, so Japan, right? So the Nazi scientists, then together with the Japanese scientists, yeah, after the Second World War, it begins a digitalization of the whole world. It started precisely when the Second World War ended, because it's saying the first computer here, it's saying here in the book, it's from 1945, right? So we know, again, we know that the human is made out of the earth, the body, the spirit, get put, yeah? This is the creation of man. Out of the man come the womb man, yeah? And this is, or out of the one come the two, out of the two come the three, and it's a creation story, right? And we are the compute, like again, someone had to calculate everything, the atoms and all these things, and put the creation, and that's why the computer is the copy of ourselves, right? So the science is there since the beginning, right? That's why in the scriptures, in the Holy Scriptures, everything is written there. And yeah, but Babylon would not understand, because again, there is, you can be intelligent, yeah, you can be intelligent, yeah, but really wise is something that you have to be good, right? You have to be, again, you have to be linked at the positive, with the positive. If you are linked at the negative, or you think you're neutral, then you cannot really be wise, yeah? You can be intelligent like the Jesuits, or like whoever there in CERN, but you cannot really be wise, yeah? Like, for example, Bruno Gröning, yeah? Or like Juan Benjamin in the lyrics, you know what he's saying? It's over the top, you know, and of intelligence, right? So we see there is the, you know, like they say, the wise, you know, there is many wise sayings from China, yeah, like, yeah, if you want a peace, prepare for war, right? Or don't sell the fish, but teach how to fish, yeah, how to catch the fish, right? And all these things. Now again, Haile Selassie now as the King of Kings, yeah, he would say, and he was not at all into war. He was into peace. Again, he was into international morality, but he had to defend himself, right? So he also, for sure, went to the front line, fought at the front line, and defended. He was an example, yeah, for the whole humanity, you know, and not like Gandhi again, who come out of a colonized India, you know, and all these things. They put you then these figures, like in science as well, science and wherever they put you these figures to follow, yeah, but they will not tell you about the real figures, yeah, for sure. That's why we have to do it, yeah, and we have to explain where it's all coming from, yeah. have to explain where it's all coming from. So again, even this, look at this, the Ark of the Covenant is a device, again, and gold is a conductor, and copper, and this and that, and the ancients, they knew what they did, yeah? So the devil, let's say, took over the knowledge, and they use it to control, right? So again, if we have now CERN, and CERN actually does something completely different than they say, yeah? But how much does it cost? Yeah? Against our health, right? And then you have, again, the Gotthard tunnel, for example, if you see, if I tell you, I already told you all these tunnels, and it's very, very, very bad for nature, right? It's keep bringing unbalance, right? Here you see, actually you can see them here, like very happy that they make the hole, and yeah, but anyhow, it's not good for nature, yeah? But why they do it then? Again, because it's an artificial grid, right? Artificial grid, and then that's how the matrix is built. Anyhow, because it's all, again, it's magnetism, it's energy, and also the thoughts, they're sent, yeah? Bruno Gröning said, for example, Bruno Gröning now said, the human being is unable to produce thoughts. Yeah, the thoughts are sent. This is like email. Yeah, right. It comes. It's information who comes. It can be either from the good energy source, again from positive, or from the negative. Yeah. Yeah, so every thought should be controlled. Yeah, every thought, before you accept it, you should control it and see, is it good, is it true, what does it help this thought, if you cannot answer, with yes, these three questions, like, is it good, is it true, what can I, does it help, does the thought help me, then forget about the thought, again, the martial arts, it starts in the spirit. Yeah, I'm telling you, because again, I'm as a martial artist, yeah, I never hit no one really, only in training, right? But because if you can defend yourself first in the spirit, yeah, you never have to hit no one, really, yeah. So it starts there, yeah. It's like the disease, and it's like the getting rid of the disease and all this. It starts in the spirit. It starts in the spirit. It ends in the spirit. We come from the spirit. We go back, right? So they invest so much, so they suck all the energy from around the equator, yeah, where it's the richness coming from. Also, all the knowledge, all the everything. Again, this thing here, again, the whole matrix based on the invasion in Jerusalem and all this thing. 800 years ago, many things happened. So 800 years ago, again, it was when Lalibela was built, yeah. And you just study this, and again, there's very good people here on earth explaining you actually everything you need to know about Lalibela and the whole story. Yeah? I just want to explain to the people that we, as One Love Caravan, actually we want to go there. Yeah, we want to go there also as a pilgrimage. Yeah, and there's many other very, 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 very interesting and important places in Africa and in the world, and we want to visit these places. Yeah, we would be able to. We want to be able to go at such places to study, and and we should be free for do that. We should be free for traveling, yeah, on the whole world, yeah, because actually. These borders and all these things is a very new kind of concept, and many borders, yeah, they only came into existence after the Second World War, right? And yeah, we have with the European Union, for example, actually this is our problem, because of the European Union making all these borders. Now at the time European Union, now it's closed. Everywhere you have the European Union, it's closed. Like the exit to Russia or the exit to Morocco, or there is a border and controlled, right? So we are for the liberation and for the also freedom of speech and freedom of again, we have freedom of thinking. They cannot take away this, but they want to manipulate. Again, they want to manipulate. So very important to understand how everything here works when it comes to technology, and when it comes to building again a digital matrix, yeah, which is very it is very dangerous, because anytime it can be over, yeah, and there is no backup, yeah, it's no backup. They have they have all their backup digital, yeah, but in the end, when something really happened, like an earthquake or something, they have no solution for that, right? So we have to build our ark, let's say, build our ark, because you have to understand, like, this whole thing with the ark and all this ancient thing, it repeats, yeah, it repeats like a civilization, yeah, like Sodom and Gomorrah, or like you know, every time when a civilization must be destroyed because they made too much unbalance, yeah, so there is always some people who are saved, yeah, and also the people, they save some of their families, yeah, they save some of the traditions and knowledge and all these things, yeah, but only the good. That's why the whole science of for example, it's saying in the Bible that it's easier. Then it depends on the translation, right? It depends on translation, and we know that it's you know, sometimes it's saying like it's easier to, again, for it's saying for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than wickedness enter in the kingdom of Zion, or whatever. Like, or easier a camel goes through the eye of a needle than a rich man enter the kingdom of Zion, whatever. So what does it mean? It means the camel in the end, I think, yeah, it is really the rope, yeah, it's the rope which was made out of hemp, yeah, and this one you put through the anchor, right? The anchor, and there you put the rope, and this is the biggest eye of a needle you have from the anchor and the big rope for the ships, right? So this in comparison to the small needle, so easier goes the big rope through the small needle, yes, than something negative in the kingdom of God, yeah, because that's why there's a land far away where there's no night, there's only day, you know, and that's why you know, Zion, let's say, yeah, the paradise, yeah, it is another dimension, but it coming back, yeah, to be manifested here, let's say. That's why our whole here this our whole logo type, right? For the education, it's actually, again, it's showing the scenario of the kingdom of God, because again, the whole royalty, the whole science of yeah, of royalty, of kingship, and all this, and also this knowledge. Again, King Solomon, he was the wise man. King Solomon was the wise man, and King Solomon was the son of King David, and King David, yeah, was the one who defeated Goliath, right? So King David was also a musician, right? But these people at the time, they were so highly advanced, yeah, because it has all to do with the tradition of again, the Jewish tradition, however, and it has to do with Moses. But Moses, Moses, as he got adopted, there by in Egypt, right? He learned also many things there, because again he was the son-in-law of the high priest, right? There, and so he learned so many things, and these traditions again they got passed on, so knowledge increasing with the time, the genetics, genetics, it's always more and more, right? So listen, Haile Selassie said we must become a new race, right? And if you can see now what is happening, we will become a new race, because again it's evolution, you can never go take back no genetics. It's every time getting more. So the last it's like, okay, the last can never be really the first, like the same the first, but we have everything, all our information we have inside, but you can never take nothing out, it's inside. So what should I say, it's an evolution, right? And the whole wisdom, it's also carried in these traditions, right? And now the system we're living in, and it's the Western, again the Western, the Babylonian, it is the Anglo-Saxon, it is the white supremacists, the colonizers, the devilish, again, the Luciferian, however you want to call it, system, right? So what is then the original way of living? It is the original way of living is the tribal, the tribal way. And in the tribal way you have automatically the king. Again, you have automatically the king. That's how you have the animal kingdom, you have the mineral kingdom, and all these kingdoms. And in humanity, you have also the king. So this, again, if you want to really, if you want to have the good, you have to also give thanks where it all coming from, right? So again, important of studying the origins, of everything, the origin of the word, the origin of the technology. Again, like I showed you this the Kawasaki thing, how Japan, Germany, like after the Second World War, also all the scientists from the Nazis, they went actually to the United States of America, isn't it? And there's the stories that, even Hitler, he went to Argentina and all these things. Argentina, it's built by the Jesuits. Whole Latin America, again, Latin America, it's built by the devil, right? And that's why you have like Uruguay and Argentina, and they have even the Jesuit sun there as a flag, And if you go to Argentina, for example, the most genetically, they're coming from Italy. The most people, the most of the people in Argentina genetically coming from Italy, and it's like a breeding center there, seriously, it's like a breeding center, because actually the white, like the Caucasian, the Aryan, the white, it was a minority everywhere in the world. It was always a minority. They were everywhere in the world, everywhere, but as a minority, still, I think, I don't really know, the dates. I don't believe in the statistics anyhow, but I think now it's not really, maybe it's still a minority, right? But there is many countries, big countries, and they breed, right? Like Adolf Hitler would do it. So, thank you very much for watching this, and soon back with the next video, continuing, go deeper into the science and history and technology and spirituality. And yes, thank you very much for watching this. Shalom, and see you soon. Daniel, One Love Caravan. Stay blessed.